All right, so I've had this for 2 years, and the first year I had it, I really didn't use it a whole lot, but man, it really performed well, did everything great. And then I know like the last fall when I was wrapping up using it, the rear wheel drive stopped functioning. So I think it's just a belt slipped off, whatever. It's generally what happens. So I gotta take a look at that. And it was having problems starting, so I had to use some starting fluid to get it going. So we'll take care of that. But for now, I'm just gonna clean it up because I was careless and didn't clean it before I put it up for the winter. So let's go ahead and get this washed up, and then we'll dive into what's going on with the rear wheel drive. All right, so one thing is I'm always out here in a bunch of dust areas. I mean, it does create a lot of dust. So the cheapest thing to do is replace your air filter. And you can buy these I got them on Amazon, pretty inexpensive. They're less than $1 a piece, I imagine, but they're, you know, like by the 10 pack. So just replace your air filter, and for no more than those are. I used to try to clean those with an air filter, with the air compressor, but for no more than it costs to replace them, just do that. So I'm gonna go ahead and wash this out real quick. One trick we used to do for the dirt bikes, when we would clean the sponge filters with them, is we would actually clean them in oil. So yeah, we clean them in oil, and so that oil cleaned it really well, but also the oil would collect the dust better than not, and so it would actually keep the dust from getting into the engine, because it will collect on there. But of course, you'd have to clean it every time, which isn't a problem, which you probably should do, but that's just one thing we did. Okay. Oh, didn't even put the filter in. You all right there, buddy? The pugs, they have a thing, they're always choking on stuff. All right, got that. Now let's see if we can get this thing to start. So again, I've not tried to start this since last year, so let's see what we got here. All right, so there's no choke or anything on this. It literally is just self-governing and everything, so just start pulling. Okay, not bad. Second pull and got to start, which surprises me, because last year when I was trying to start it, I was having a lot harder time, and so I had to use some starting fluid to get it to start. So we got that going. So now at this point, I want to see what we can do about getting the rear drive working, because it's not. So it looks like this is a gear mechanism here that's on the shaft, and there's a belt on there. I felt the belt's on there. I think it's slipped off here at this point. So what I'll do is go ahead and pull this plate off. In order to get that off, I gotta take the blade off. So we'll go ahead and get that done, and then see what we got in there. Alright, so I get this plate off. I have to use this little puller. And what I did is I put the bolt that holds the blade in back in there so that when I push this in, it's not gonna, go into the slot and strip out the threads. So I'll put that on there. And then just tighten this up, and it's just pulling that out. And it's pulled it out that far. And I guess now I need to actually pull that, back the thread out on this one a little bit so it has more room to pull out on. Okay, like so. Put it back on there. Snug this back up. Alright, so I got that off finally. And so yeah, this was pressed on, so I just had to, pull it off. And I got that. So now there was a lot of caked in dirt in here that I don't know, I have to see. So it looks like, yeah, this slipped off. So right there, now boom, it's on there. That's all that was wrong, was that had slipped off. And it may have been very well because of the dirt. Look at all that. There's a whole bunch. There's just clogs of it. So now that that is good to go, I think our drive system's actually good to go again. So I just have to see what I can do about keeping the dirt out of there. That's it's almost like these covers, I mean, I understand it's there to protect it, but in turn it also is, it entraps that stuff in there and makes it hard for it to escape. So I'll have to see if there's a way. It's like really, there's just these little slots in here. So I don't know. Have to look at this a little bit better as to how I can get in there and clean it without having to disassemble like this each time, because that just is not an effective method. Have to go through this process of using the puller and everything to get that off. But at least basically that's why it wasn't working, because this belt has slipped off, and that's what I thought it was. I'm glad it wasn't inside here, because I think that's a gear mechanism to drive that. So looks like these wheels inside here actually have gears that drive it too, so those are a little more complex. Hopefully, and I know it's probably just all plastic, so hopefully that stuff doesn't wear down too quickly. So it's just this belt. So anyway, we'll go ahead and just fire it up as it is without putting it back together, just to make sure the drive system works, and then we'll go from there. I think I should be able to just put it back together and let it drive. Make sure I don't have any parts under there. All right, watch out, buddy. Don't want you to get hurt. Look at that. Okay, that's all it was. So now that we know that, I can at least put it back together. Let's see. Just see here. Yeah, so even this spray port here to hook the hose up, that is on the outside. So it's not even like that can get in there to clean that. So I don't know, we'll have to figure out something because that is an awful lot of dirt. But we'll go get this back together and then I'll give you my final wrap up. Go, got that on there, it's all good to go. So now I should have a good all right, there we go. Oh, look at that beautiful Georgia backdrop here. So yeah, gotta definitely look into what I need to do to keep that clean under there. I may actually, we want to put a couple slots in there, maybe on the side so that it's not like directly flying up from underneath. I'll have to look, see what, maybe I'll consult with AI and see if it can come up with the design. I'll show it what I've got and what my problem is. So seems like no matter what equipment you get from the manufacturer, there's always design flaws or things that they didn't take into consideration that you have to go back and, you know, re-engineer or make little adapters, things to make things work better. I had that when I had my printing company. I had to go and make alterations so that things would actually work better. So that's definitely the case with this as well. So anyway, the rear wheel drive on this is far superior to any of the front wheel drives. They're all pretty much belt driven as far as I know, but that's the big problem with these, is that the belt slips off. So you have that to contend with. And again, because of all the crud that was in there, I believe that was the reason why the belt slipped off on this one. So I really hate to go through the process of disassembling this each time to put the belt back on. So again, I'm gonna try to find a way to mitigate the dirt collection issue there in that container, and that should solve my problem. But overall, this mower has performed well. Don't let the naysayers tell you otherwise. Again, you know, you saw it's been a year since I had operated this thing. Well, since last fall, so say 5 months, and it started right up after the second pull, on the second pull. The thing I like about this mower specifically is the one adjustment does all four. So the level actually adjusts all four positions, so you don't have to sit there and change them individually. So that's really one of the good features. But again, I got this mainly for the rear wheel drive. Wasn't really too familiar with the YardMax, other than I think I might have had one of their cheap little weed eaters that worked, for a season or two. Anyway, that's a wrap for this. So if you have any questions about it, please feel free to hit me up on chat. on the comments and I'll respond. But it's a good working mower for what I paid for it. And you know, again, this is my going on to the 3rd season, so I don't use it a lot because I mainly use my rider and my weed eater, but for a lot of this section I use it, and you know, it does a great job. So anyway, that's a wrap. So if you are interested in anything freedom oriented or Second Amendment, I got a whole bunch of different wares, t-shirts. I have a whole bunch of different designs that I created on primitiveguy.com, so go on there and check it out. I think this shirt's on there as well for sale, but I've got those, and then you can check out from there. I think I have links to my blog and my Facebook page. But yeah, anything you purchase there helps contribute to support the channel, so I certainly appreciate it. But until next time.